Relax, the keyboard is off, the press box is closed, and the mic is just getting warmed up as the guardian of the blue paint turned writer is about to enlighten us. A show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. For this week's show, gotta love it when a good plan comes together, Defense Edition. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join Lance and Steel as we bring you all the latest on the Flyers.
Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of the Hockey Writers Inc. As always, I'm your host, Lance Green, back fresh off vacation.
Woo! Hey! Welcome back! Welcome back!
Right, nice to be back.
Oh man! I am your co-host, SteelFlyers, and ladies and gentlemen, the Batman and Robin are back! Oh yes! So you look a little darker.
Yeah,
you know.
I got a little sun. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I had to let everybody know that we were jealous of the fact that you were on vacation, enjoying some fun in the sun. And so glad to see that you're back. And man, I tell you what, we got a lot of stuff to get into here. I mean, we're starting to get deep into it, and you gotta love it when a good plan comes together. And we're talking about Defense Edition on the show tonight, the Hockey Writers Inc. with Lance back. He's got an article out that he did a little bit earlier this week, and we can't wait to get in it. And so, but Lance, buddy, we had some guys sort of fill in. I mean, you know, you have some big shoes there that they had to fill.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, definitely. I appreciate both guys stepping in for me as I was out running amok, on vacation. But definitely appreciate it, guys. Couldn't think of two other guys that I would like to fill in for me. So thank you to both of you. So
yeah, I figured you would appreciate the two gentlemen that we're referring to. Isaiah from O&B Puckcast stepped in for Lance in the first week, and then of course the great Perlo Wisdom from the NHL Perlo Wisdom Show stepped in as well to fill in for Lance while he was away enjoying some fun and sun. But now, my brother, it's back to the grind. It's back to the ice. It's back to what you do best, and that is putting ink to paper and getting eyeballs to the screens with the beautiful fluidity of your writing. Yeah, buddy. Do you just see how that words just roll right off?
Yeah.
Unpracticed. That just came right out.
That was good.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you.
Have to pay you for that or something. I don't know. That was nice.
But posted just the other day on FlyersNittyGritty.com. Gotta love it when a plan comes together. Flyers Defense Edition. And I know. This is the area where the Flyers needed to be much improved.
To say the least, yeah.
And so let's dive right in. And all right. Talk to me about the inspiration behind this article, and then let's get right into talking about the blue liners that were brought in to this team to be a completely different team than what they were last year.
Yeah, so, with the offseason that the Flyers had with Chuck Fletcher finally going out there and just saying, enough is enough, and making some major changes and bringing in some, big name guys to fill in the holes that were left from the departed and that needed to be filled, prior to it. It's just been refreshing to really watch these guys come into training camp and see how it's all going to play out. And, I think that they're doing so just brilliantly, exactly how, Chuck Fletcher had envisioned it when he, brought all these guys in. So that's what I really wanted to cover about this and take a closer look at for sure.
I definitely feel that you hit the nail on the head with just about every point that you wanted to cover in this article. I mean, talk about coming back from vacation swinging, you know what I mean? And you just always seem to aim for the rafters and then go beyond, you know what I mean? And so once again, this article touches on exactly the very essence of what the Flyers needed to improve on in this offseason in order to be a better team going into this coming season. I want you to talk to me. Look, we've had a couple of days now of camp. We're already in the throes of the second preseason game, right? Okay. Everything that you've seen out there as far as what's been happening with the team, give me your take on Risto.
Sure. Risto is playing as we speak, as we film this, and I think really he has been a breath of fresh air for the Flyers, something that they have lacked for a long time, that both me and you on this show repeatedly have gone in. I mean, just over
Ad
and over and
nauseum.
over. Yes, ad nauseum. That the team needed, that we thought the team needed, and that was physicality.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I kind of put a cute little spin on some words in there and stuff, some comparisons, but in the article, if you got a chance to read it, but definitely the team lacked physicality and needed some grit. And the Flyers went out there with Chuck Fletcher and paid dearly for it, but they got it.
Yeah. Not only did they pay cash dearly, but they paid for a draft pick for this.
Sure. Top 50 pick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, but that's what I mean, though. This is exactly the kind of information that you address in your article. That's why I asked you,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they went out there and they paid a first round pick for sure. But unlike in the past when they've done this, it's not for a 30-year-old plus player that is in his prime or closing to the highlight
on the back end.
Yeah, on the back end of his career. This is a 26-year-old kid that stands 6'4" and 220 plus pounds. Okay, and this isn't like the one that left and went to Nashville. We'll just leave it at that. He likes to use that size and physicality to his advantage, and we've seen that in camp already. I mean, this guy, as I said in the article, compared him to Lenny from Of Mice and Men, the great novel. He seems to doesn't even know his own strength out there. He's just playfully throwing these other teammates of his into the boards and just totally wiping them out of the play. And it's just something that this team has needed for a long time. In my mind. So it's going to be great because he's no longer going to be expected to be that first line pairing guy like he was in Buffalo for so long. That kind of hurt him. Honestly, he's not that guy. He's not a first pairing guy. But here in Philadelphia, he's going to probably most likely play with Travis Sanheim on the second pairing and allow Travis Sanheim to kind of do his thing with the reassurance that Ristolainen is going to be on the back end and kind of protect him when he goes up into the play and stay back when he needs to. But Ristolainen too has an amazing shot from the point, and you're going to see that throughout the course of the year too.
Yeah.
Not only is he going to hit guys along the boards, Risto blows right in the middle of the ice to blow up plays before they even happen. Yeah. And I really think he's going to love this city and love playing for this team, and the team and its fans are going to love him because the Flyers don't have to see him across the ice anymore and try to squeeze by him, so that's a godsend in itself. So I really like this pickup. And yes, it's only for a year right now, but I really think he's going to settle in Philly and be the player that he was thought to be when he was drafted by Buffalo, before he was rushed into play
Yeah.
there, before he was necessarily ready and made
Yeah.
to play all those minutes in Buffalo. I really think you're going to see the kind of player that he was meant to be here in Philly, and he's just going to be a fan favorite for sure.
I agree. I mean, he has that body type. He has that mindset. He has that game. The game that he brings to the table is exactly the type of game that the Flyers have been looking for in that particular type of defenseman. And I agree. I think he's going to play second line minutes. At least that's what I'm hoping they do with him. I hope, they already said that he has probably taken over Provorov as the big man in the gym.
For sure. Yeah,
Right.
AV has come out and said, like, he is physically impressive. He has, as they do,
Specimen.
yeah, all they do. I mean, you got Sam Moran there too, you got to think of, but, uh, you know, he has come into this camp and blown away all the testing, physical testing, and everything that they go in and do all these little tests off ice as well, and just amazed the Flyers brass as strong as he is. They have not seen anybody like this in a very long time come into camp this big, this strong, and just this
And in
ready to
shape.
play.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he came into camp in shape.
Yeah.
Look, I can't really even stress this enough. If you play a professional sport, there's no such thing as an off season. There is an off season where you're not playing games, yes.
Mhm.
But if you're a professional athlete, you really only get about maybe a month ish out of the year where you're not training, lifting weights, on some kind of nutritional regime. I mean, you get what I'm saying. So it's a full-time job on a 365, 24/7 basis. There's no off season anymore. I mean, it's really weird. Like when you look back in the day when guys would have off seasons and they would get jobs, work for companies during the off season. Like, whoa, all right,
Yeah,
But
they
now,
really weren't paid like they are now either. Yeah.
well, okay, exactly. I mean, those guys were still smoking in the locker rooms and drinking beers before the games. I mean, okay, you know what I mean? So, but still, the fact of the matter is that this is a full-time gig to be in shape. And the fact that he was able to come into camp and be in shape and everything like that to me was impressive. I, too, am impressed with the body style and with the attitude that he's come into Philadelphia with. He seems like a very quiet guy and reserved guy off the ice, but on the ice, he's pretty much going to be a beast. And to be honest with you, I really don't have a problem with opposition looking over there going, oh, crap. Risto's getting on the ice and I'm on the ice too. Oh crap. That's exactly what this Flyers team needs, in my opinion. I think he brings that to the table. And all of those other things, first round draft pick, speed, power, great shot, can, be that stay at home defenseman that can let the offensive defenseman, jump up into the play, maybe not Sanheim, but somebody else or whatever. You know what I mean? But okay. The other one that we got to talk about here, and you definitely mentioned quite a few players that were acquired and everything like that. But I want to talk about a player that was homegrown, and that's Cam York. Okay, and you mentioned him in this article, and man, just holy smokes, Cam York.
Yeah, I mean, Cam York's going to be a great player. But with the additions that they have added with Ryan Ellis and Keith Yandel alike, he's not going to be needed to be rushed into play this season. If somebody gets hurt and he comes up from the Phantoms, then great. But the object here is that he's going to be able to be on the ice, be a first line, defender for the Phantoms, and really develop his game that much more, and really hopefully be that player, that guy next season. And there needs to not be that rush for him. If you got somebody like him, we really need to let him progress. And he's a great player at Michigan. He came up at points last season and looked great, but he doesn't need to be a guy playing 15 minutes a night for the Flyers right now.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Quite honestly, I don't think him playing 15 minutes a night is going to be – I think it's going to be a detriment. I think he needs to play like 20.
Sure. And he's going to get that. He's going to get that in Lehigh.
Right. No. See, I totally agree with you on this, and it was kind of funny, kind of ironic, because Isaiah from OMB Puckcast, which, by the way, if you guys aren't checking out and following the guys from OMB Puck, man, those guys are the standard, so check them out. But Isaiah was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about this very same thing. You know what I mean? Like, can he be the – I mean, I think that it would be a good idea to have him spend that time down in Lehigh and be that number one guy. And I believe Isaiah was pretty much on the same page as me, where he also felt that don't rush him, but that we all feel that he is capable.
For sure.
Right now. Right?
For sure.
Right?
But,
he could,
but you don't want to play him. You don't want to play him at the third line minutes.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. But we all agree, though, that he is capable to fly right now. But it's the kid gloves approach and, well, don't rush him. Just let him express himself. Just let him get there on his own. Let him beat the guys out in camp. Let him, you know what I mean? Let's let him do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all feel that he's, I'm not trying to anoint him or anything like that. That's not the case, because I also agree that sending him down to Lehigh for at least for a portion of the season, to have him get those first line minutes, to have put in every situation, to be that number one D guy that's on the power play, that's on the penalty kill, that's, playing the 3-on-3 or the 4-on-4s or, whatever. Just give him all those responsibilities and let him do it. I mean, he did it for the United States team.
He did it for Michigan, yeah.
He did it for Michigan. I mean, what? Give the kid the chance to do it here and let him just progress. You know what I mean? We've got so many guys, and that's the next thing I want to talk about, is the vets that you mentioned in the article, that the vets have come in. And Chuck went out and just said, all right, let's go get Ryan Ellis. Let's go get Keith Yandel, right? Let's go get Ristolainen. I mean, those three guys right there, right? And then let's sprinkle in a little, couple other guys too that I think there was some steals. Like, I think that Broussard, I think that's going to work out real nice in Philly. Woo! Anyway, but talk to me about where you think how this whole Keith Yandel is going to come in and oh my goodness, Ellis.
Yeah, both players I enjoyed watching in that first preseason game. I love that the team and AV kept Ellis with Provorov, and they played and built upon that already, ability to come in and just be like glue, and they're just amazed with each other, and really, really hitting it off there on that top pairing. And looks like Ellis from Nashville. It's amazing to see somebody like that on the Flyers roster once again. I mean, you really
I
haven't
know.
really haven't had that since Timonen. You really haven't had that before since, maybe Desjardins.
Yeah.
And that calming presence, Niskanen did it for a
Pronger was like
while.
that too.
Yeah, yeah, Pronger. But just that guy, Niskanen did it for 1 year, but I think Ryan Ellis is just totally on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
He's gonna solidify this defense and
Yeah.
really slow down games and really allow Provorov to do his thing once again, like he wasn't able to last season. And I really, really like what I saw. He's a good egg, really, really good teammate. It's just an excellent pickup, and especially for what we gave away. Kudos to Chuck Fletcher for being able to bring in this type of guy for the minuscule guys that he
Yeah.
had to give away. Yeah, they were young, but this guy's 30 years old. He's going to be around, and he's signed for multiple
Multiple
years.
years.
And so is Provorov. So these guys are only going to grow together, and it's going to be exciting to watch this pairing. And personally, I think they're one of the best pairings in the league. Game one, they're at least top 10, pairing in the NHL in my mind.
I'm going to have to say that I'm going to take a wait and see approach on that.
Okay.
Okay. I want to see more of them, more play together. I want to see them play together more. Yeah, I knew I could get it eventually.
And it's yeah. And as far as Keith Yandel, I mean, Keith Yandel is a bit underrated in my mind. I think a lot of people just think of him as having that power play ability, and he's a scoring defenseman and all that. That is all great, but as in camp, if you guys have been watching like I have, you know, he's out there, he's playing defense. He looked solid that first preseason game. He looked like the veteran that he is. And I mean, he's aggravating guys at camp right now, shutting guys down like Giroux and everything else with his defense as well. And he's quick to turn it the other way and make an offensive play out of it at the other end. So he doesn't look like he's skating around as a 35-year-old or whatever that he is.
Yeah.
He really looks like he's happy to be in camp, and he really looks like he's fits well into the system that he's already played in, with AV before. He looks very comfortable. I think it brings a lot better pairing, guy to back Braun and allow Braun to be. I know he's your favorite there, Steel, but I really happy to see Braun get somebody that is this quality of a defenseman to play with. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, to play with. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yeah. No, see, look, it's kind of funny, too, because Perlo and Isaiah said something along the same lines as this. The energy was changed. The culture was changed
for sure
in Philadelphia, where the negativity was dropped and the positivity was brought in. And you touched on it with what you said about Ristolainen. And you also touched on it, too, when you said about Ellis, right? Ever since Ryan Ellis has been here, the first thing he did was hook up with Provorov. And those two guys have been pretty much inseparable since they both got into camp or both got into town. Because they were in town like a couple of weeks before camp started.
Sure.
right? I mean, yeah, okay. So
It looks like they're having fun once again. And it's
see,
been a
these are the
while.
kinds of things that you didn't see the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Right? You just didn't see guys getting together and doing things. And, I remember when Laviolette was coaching, and every time Laviolette coached, he would take the guys to somewhere special, wherever, and they would have a week at training camp there. Like the one time he took them up to West Point, right, one year. And they went up to West Point, and they got to meet all the students and everything. But they had a week up there where they did some training, but they had some bonding time, where they did things as a group, and then during the season, they would have, a once a month kind of thing where everybody would get together and go bowling or something, whatever. Right. Yeah. So I think that needs to be part of what's going on with this team. There needs to be some of that bonding. I mean, call it whatever you want, but you notice teams that are having fun, guys that are, smacking each other on the head and, and whatever, and laughing and joking and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you look at that guys down the line and everybody's having a good time when everybody's winning. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully it's if it's a positive vibe that it carries through. You see what I'm saying?
For sure. So I think it is. I think Kevin Hayes is a good guy to have in the locker room. He's hurt right now, but he's still around the team.
Still around.
Yandel is good friends with him. Atkinson's good friends with guys already on the team. So everybody they really brought in is a good egg. Just a really good player, a really good leader, and just a presence in the locker room that is going to make light to the down times in the season where they lose a couple of games, and bring these guys out of that, and return them to believe in themselves and just real leaders. What this
rip
team
the
has
Band-Aid
lacked.
off, the Band-Aid off, bleed for a couple seconds, and then move on. Right? You know what I mean? All right, I get you. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I also feel that was another thing that was missing from this team and has been missing from this team in quite some time. And both Isaiah and both Perlo, and now you, and we've all touched on this now, that Chuck has done a culture change, has done an energy change by bringing in these types of players, these types of veterans that are leadership guys. They've all worn the letter on their sweater. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I think Isaiah said it best, that every once in a while you need to bring in some rah guys.
Yeah.
So that when you do lose a couple of games, right, and you do hit that stretch where the road gets a little bumpy and you're not winning every single night, or you're not winning every shift, and you got those guys on the team that are like, yeah, man, come on, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's great to have those kinds of people on the team that not only can say that, but then back it up with their play.
So who are you most excited to see in this camp and in these next few games? Who's impressing you so far? Who's leaving you a little more to be desired?
Was really impressed with Zamula in that first game. Was really impressed.
He just got hurt. I believe.
Yeah,
hip injury or something.
Yeah,
out a couple weeks now. Injury bugs just keep coming. Yeah.
So was really impressed with him. I have to say, I've been impressed with Tyson Forster. Really like what AV said about him the other day in his press conference, saying that he's giving him a very long, hard look. Right? Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that, AV. I'm with you. He's making it hard for you to look away.
Yeah.
right? Okay. Yandel has been hard to look away from, has been playing very, very well. Okay. I've been impressed with him. He didn't have his best year last year at Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think he knew he was on the outs in Florida.
Okay. And the fact that Ekblad was out down there as well, too. And there was a lot more pressure put on him. And he was forced to play more of the top line minutes where that's really not his game as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I really like that type of leadership though that he's going to bring. I'm also really excited to see how Cam Atkinson's going to fit in. I really want to see how that's going to work. And okay, I'm going to come out and say it. Can we maybe not have Braun play 82 games this year? Like, I'm going to be on the mission to make sure that this guy plays half the season.
I think that's going to be hard because he's a right-hand shot defenseman. They went out and got two guys that are playing above him, but that are right-hand shot. But I really think it's going to be hard to replace him. I mean, you only have really Wyatt Wiley down there that could on the right side. But I think as far as guys that stand out for me thus far.
Yeah, same question back to you. Sorry.
I really like Brassard. I really like what he brings to the table, especially in the first game. I really love seeing him crash the net on both ends. In the offensive zone and in the defensive zone, he was getting back, he was helping out, and that's refreshing to see because the team didn't do that a whole lot last season. I think he is a veteran player that is going to win a ton of faceoffs. I really like that in him.
Just what we need. We need a guy who a center who can come in and win those defensive zone draws.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, one of the things that I noticed right away about the first game was when you win the draw, you get that first crisp pass up to the guy to the blue line, who then proceeds to skate the puck in, right, along with the rest of his mates, and then everybody's set up, and you get two chances and a shot on goal.
Yeah,
because you had that win in your zone. Right, in the defensive zone, you win the draw, that first pass up the sideboards to whoever, I don't even care, right? And then he skates it in, and then everybody's set up. Every team that's good does that well.
Yeah, and I think they'll do a lot more this season. In that token, I think there's a lot more talented players on this team now that will skate the puck into the zone out of the outlet pass. But as far as other people that are impressing is Tyson Forrester is in camp through drills and everything like that. He is going through the motions and really has that shot that is hard to turn your eyes away from. In the first game, I really didn't see him a whole lot out on the ice. Of course, I saw him. I knew who he was. I knew what number he wore, but he was really just out there.
Yeah.
Really wasn't giving me anything in that first game. Atkinson was passing the puck a little too much in my mind. He did have quite a few shots on net, but they weren't those good quality shots that I wanted to see from him. I really don't want to see him pass the puck at all, to be honest. I just want to see him fire the puck. I just want to see him fire the puck like Gagne used to. As soon as he got it on his stick, he just fired it. But I mean, I'm just joking in that sense. But really.
But not really.
but not really. I really think that's why he was brought in. Voracek and Drew were very similar players, and we really just needed a guy that could really shoot the puck. Wade Allison was another one. Of course, he got injured yet again. He had a very uh, prone history of this throughout college, and
Oh,
it's
really?
come. It's yes, every single season in college. Unfortunately, this kid only knows one way to play the game, and that's Flyers brand of hockey. I gotta love this kid. You gotta love him. He goes out there and gives you everything he's got every game. And I mean, that fight he had in the scrimmage against New York with Rampy, who's
I
six
know.
foot 7 or 8, who I actually had on my one of my mock drafts for the Flyers to draft him in the late round. But yeah, just unfortunate that Wade's going to be out for some time. He really was a clear-cut decision to hit the lineup from day one, as far as the Flyers lineup goes. And that's why I think AV is going to be willing to look at a guy like Forrester a little bit
Yeah.
longer in this camp, because
Yeah.
he does have that shot that could produce some goals there. He is still very young, but he does have that elite NHL level shot already. So, um, and in this game that's going on right now, I'm really impressed with a guy that I've not been so impressed with previously in Morgan Frost as far as winning faceoffs. He's won a lot of faceoffs tonight, and that's something that I wanted to see. I wanted to see him get stronger in the circle and be able to win those battles, like you were saying, with Broussard and others and Scott Lawton, kind of taking that in effect and being able to win some draws in their own zones and stuff like that. Couturier is great at it. Of course, Giroux's good at it, and that's why we have the puck a lot on our sticks to start off the to start off the games, to start off the plays after they've been frozen or
Yeah.
icings and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a big part of his game. That is going to allow him to get into the game at the NHL level. So let's hope he is able to really put the puck in the net and this preseason, and we'll see where he is. I think the team at the AHL level with the Phantoms is going to be a phenomenal team. They did really well last season, but they just
Oh,
added
yeah.
some more names to be able to be brought in and play.
Boy, that
So,
team is
you know,
stacked.
yeah, another guy that I really see that is kind of uh, unimpressive in this sense has just been Isaac Ratcliffe. I really want to see more from him, and I really didn't as of yet.
And German
Uh,
too. Not very impressed with German or
I
Zubov or
mean,
whatever. Yeah.
I to be honest, I really don't know why they brought him back. That they didn't even want him last season in Phil or in Lehigh, so they sent him back to the KHL to really hopefully spark
Yeah.
him back. And to be honest, I think he's scared of any and all physicality, and he pulls off his approach from the puck. Or his pursuit from the puck when he
Yeah.
thinks somebody's going to hit him, and I really think that you just can't do that in the NHL and be successful. So I don't know. It's going to be tough in my mind to make it past the AHL level for him, especially when you guys got like talented players like Morgan Frost there,
Yeah.
and others coming up the pike down the middle of the ice. So we shall see. In my mind, I just don't see him, being a Flyer anytime soon, even though he's a little bit older than the other prospects. So
I agree. I agree 100%. Look, I don't think that we can I don't think that we need to mention Niski any longer, right? I mean, I believe that the team has finally moved on from that. What do you think?
yeah, I think Fletcher really this offseason knew he messed up the previous by not bringing in a better replacement for that big void that Niskanen left, and I don't even think we need to bring it up anymore with the names that he brought into camp this year. I'm really excited to watch this defense, and Carter Hart looks to be a lot better psyche wise, and I don't see how he couldn't be necessarily with this great defensive core. I can't think of a 1 through 6 that the Flyers have had in previous years, at least recently, that has been better in my mind. I really want to see how this defense really holds up, and really excited to see, even if one goes down, with Zumala and Cam York there to step in with a call up. Aces, guys, aces. I really think that they did right by Carter Hart by finally getting him a complement of defense that is going to be able to help him this season.
I mean, look, it all boils down to this defense being able to keep the puck from going across the blue line, right? I mean, so how about if they first start off with that part of the game, defense, right? And that's exactly what Chuck did, was he brought in guys that worry about that part of their game first.
Well, I think he brought in AV guys. Like I was saying,
yeah.
So many shows now. Chuck Fletcher hired AV, liked his system enough to bring him in, and thought it was going to be good, but he was reluctant to bring in AV type players until really this season, living off of what Hextall was doing for the 2 previous seasons. And it's seeming to work through this camp. They've looked really well and really effective in AV's system with these new additions. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch this season. That's for sure. A full 82 game schedule. Fingers crossed. Nice to get back to some sort of new normal, I guess.
I can't even disagree with you on that. I'm looking forward to a full 82 game season as well. I'm also looking forward to seeing how this is all going to boil down here with this defense, because it was clearly a major weakness from last season. This team is a complete 180 degrees from what it was last year. Okay, you go back 12 calendar months from this point in time, it is a completely different team. Okay,
for sure.
So I'm with you on that. I've been also, I have to say, I've been impressed with Carter Hart in camp. From what I've been seeing and what I've been reading, and then his first game, he actually looked really well, played really well. You know what I mean? So it's going to boil. That's what it all comes down to, man. It's going to come down to this defense and Carter Hart. I mean, everybody says defense wins championships, but if the defense is not able to keep the guys from having point blank shots on Carter Hart, then that's pretty much leaving your goalie hanging out to dry.
Yeah, you got to protect your assets, and obviously Carter Hart is the guy that the Flyers have been searching for the past 25 years. So if you want this guy to stay around and be the player that he can be, you got to protect him. And I think Chuck went out and has done that. And speaking of goaltenders, I have a new article set to come out. Probably by the time this show comes out, it'll be already out, hopefully tomorrow. And it's on goaltending, and it's focusing mostly on the prospects and the Flyers' decision to gamble on 3 unproven goalie prospects this year. As we all know, the Flyers didn't sign back Alex Lyon. Thank God.
Wait, we didn't hear. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. So,
by the way, I agree with that 110%.
Right. So, obviously, Chuck Fletcher went out there and got Carter Hart a formidable backup in Jones, and I think they're going to be a great pairing. But who
see.
Right. Time will tell. But who is going to be that third goaltender? As we all know, a few short seasons ago, the Flyers started a total of 8 goaltenders in a single season.
A league record.
league record.
Yeah,
8
8
goaltenders in
goaltenders.
1 year. All
Oh
right. They
God.
signed free agents. They traded for others. They grabbed some off waiver wire
I mean,
additions.
man.
They brought up guys from the Phantoms. Nobody seemed to work or be able to stay healthy. Now, obviously, that was a rare case. We all know that. But what happens next season if Carter Hart or Martin Jones sustain an injury that will cause them to miss substantial amount of time? Who's going to come up? Okay. Um, all three of our prospect goaltenders that are in camp right now, with Felix Sandstrom, Kirill Ustimenko, and Sam Eriksson, who just came in, all of them don't have a single NHL game to their name.
Yeah.
That is concerning in my mind. I'm a goaltender, lifelong goaltender. Okay.
I mean,
And
you're the guardian of the blue paint turned writer. Duh.
now this is concerning for me, guys. And even only two of them have played North American professional hockey before, both in Felix Sandstrom and Kirill Ustimenko. Now, Sandstrom, he struggled his first season over here. He was in the ECHL for a long time. In fact, most of his games are ECHL games. Very, very few has he played at the AHL level, even.
Yeah.
And to be frank, they weren't really great numbers that he recorded at the AHL level.
Right.
As far as goals against average and save percentage, and you can check those numbers out in my article that out tomorrow. But it's concerning. As far as Ustimenko, great prospect coming out of his first season in 1920, the season, but he blew up on the stage with the Reading Royals down at the ECHL. But he did do so good when he came up to the Phantoms. He played in a handful of games there. I think five that
six, I
season,
think.
5 or 6 that
Yeah.
season. But he had a darn near 4 goals against average
Yeah.
once he came up to the AHL. And then last season, when he went to build upon that, he ended up tearing his labrum in his left hip, much like Niittymaki did with the
Yeah.
Flyers.
Yeah.
Had problems, hip flexor problems, and all that stuff during his time here. And he's a young kid, but he's come back from that. He's looked good in camp, but not great. And we shall see over this next couple games him getting into a few preseason games.
Yeah.
What they're going to do with him for sure. But again, he's never played an NHL game before. So if he's called up to service, what are the Flyers really going to get from him? I don't know. We don't know, and it's a big question mark. Obviously, Chuck Fletcher went out and got the right hand first pairing defenseman that he needed. He got a goal scoring winger that he needed. He got some other depth, with the guys we just talked about previously on this night. He really improved this team, but one big hole he's left is this third goaltender option here. Now, Sam,
I was just gonna say, what do you do mention about Ersan in the article as well too, and he played the second
SHL.
half. He played the second half of that preseason game where Carter Hart started, and then he came in and played. And I'll tell you what, he looked like he had. I mean, from what limited time you get to see him out there on the ice, he looked like he had good angles, and it looked like he was playing good fundamentals.
Yeah, I mean he was the Flyers 2018 fifth round pick. He's 21 years old. He's still pretty young, but he has professional level experience playing over in Sweden at SHL, much like Sandstrom did before he came over.
Yeah.
But we got to think, guys, that just like Sandstrom did, he's going to need a little bit more time to get used to that smaller North American style ice. The guys now are coming a lot faster down the ice. Not only are they, in NHL level players that he's seeing in that first preseason game. But just the North American style rink is a lot smaller, a lot less space, and they're on top of you a lot faster. He's going to have to take a year to get used to that. And although he's really, been quite impressive in camp for what it's worth with the, changes that he's having to see as he makes this transition to the North American style game, he probably most likely will be sent down to the ECHL with the Reading to be able to get the most starts, in my mind, to be able to get him used to that, North American game.
Okay, all right. So do you think then that of the three, who do you think is going to be the starter for the Phantoms?
I'm thinking at the current time, it really depends. It's throwing a ball in the air and really seeing which ones comes down first in my mind. I think Sandstrom's got the upper hand because he was there last season and he has the most games started there. And I mean, he is the oldest of all of them and has the most professional experience because I think he played in like 6 seasons in the SHL, or at least parts of 6 seasons in the SHL before coming over here. So I think the Flyers really want to see him above all else improve his game this season. If you think back to when he draft to be that Flyers next goaltender, but of course, Carter Hart is Carter Hart and developed at a much faster pace. But I think they have faith in all three of these guys, but possibly
clearly they do.
Too much right now. I think that with the Flyers' most recent signing of a little experience in that sense, when they brought in Pat Nagel, just a career AHL goaltender recently, back on September 17th, I think they signed him. I think that is going to be that cushion in case one of these guys can't really do it. He has no NHL experience either, I don't believe, or if so, very little. He's been in the AHL and the ECHL year after year after year for quite some time now. So he has a lot more experience than these three young goaltenders. But, I can see both sides of it, Steel. I really can with these guys. I can see why the team wants to give them the shot to see what they really have. I don't want to see somebody blocking them necessarily, like a Alex Lyon coming back yet again. I think they were smart to move on from him to see what they have with these three young goaltenders and give them a real shot to sink or swim, if you will. But at the same token, the Flyers did go out and give up a lot to really turn this team around this year. First round picks and trading away superstars to really bring in a different bunch of players and change the aura of this franchise. And it would really be disheartening to see if Carter Hart or Martin Jones, knock on wood here, get injured for any length of time and have to rely on somebody that isn't going to quite live up to snuff there. And, really just see the Flyers' playoff chances go away because they don't have somebody that they were able to bring in for a fairly cheap price of some of the backups that were out there. There was a long list of guys that they could have brought in and to play that third goaltender role, the backup to the backup, I like to call it. So time will tell. Time will tell. These next few games will be interesting to see what these young goaltenders can do against some NHL level talent, in my mind, and I'm really excited to see that among everything else.
I have to agree with you on that for sure. And boy, folks, I'll tell you what, there you go. You got a preview of an article that's still dripping. Like, it's not even dry yet. Like, it hasn't even gone to press. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh, man. Look, don't get used to it. All right. Okay. Cause we can't do that every time. Right. but it just worked out this time. So that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see the reaction here when people get to read another fine article here from the Guardian of the Blue Paint turned writer. So with that being said, we would like to say thank you very much for Isaiah and for Perlo for stepping in. Really appreciate all the work that you guys do, and really appreciate you guys coming in here and trying to fill the big shoes of the writer extraordinaire. So it's great to have you back, man.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, man. It's looking forward to this season here. I know we got some preseason games in the works and everything like that, but why don't you tell the folks where they can follow you, where they can get all your great articles, and how they can find your stuff?
Sure. As always, you can catch this article that we just previewed here. Should be out tomorrow or the next day on flyersnittygritty.com. As always, you can catch my stuff also on steelflyers.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at LNGBASSIST, the number's 39.
Thank you once again for being the writer extraordinaire. I really appreciate that. You can check out all the great Hockey Writers Inc. shows on the Steel Flyers Network, steelflyers.com/link/the Hockey Writers Inc. Check us out, man. Also, be checking out something coming up here real soon. Hopefully we'll be having some swag. So some deals are in the works, and we have to put some finishing touches and dot some I's and cross some T's, and all right, write the check. But basically that's what we're getting to here, and we'll have a store set up on the website, so you'll be able to purchase a Hockey Writers Inc. t-shirt to support the show, man. I can't wait for that to come out. So be sure to check that out. Thank you once again for joining us. We'll see you all next time on the Hockey Writers Inc.